Okay, so picture the scene. It's, I don't know, a Tuesday morning.
Right.
The sun is shining. You've got your coffee in hand and you're feeling pretty good. You run into a colleague or maybe an English-speaking friend you haven't seen for a bit.
And they look at you, they smile, and they ask the simplest question in the world.
Yeah, something like, hey, what are you wearing? That looks great.
Or maybe, what's your style usually like?
It sounds so harmless, doesn't it?
Totally.
It's polite, it's innocent. It's barely even a real question, more like a conversation starter.
But that's the moment.
That is the moment. For so many people learning English, this is where the brain just freezes.
Total gridlock.
Complete system shutdown. It's the classic deer in the headlights moment.
The operating system just crashed.
Exactly. You panic, you look down at your own body, and you know what you have on. You got dressed this morning.
You made these choices.
You made specific choices. You know that you picked this shirt because it goes with these pants. But suddenly, the only words you can find in your mental filing cabinet are like,
Shirt?
shirt,
Shoes.
shoes. It's so frustrating. It's a really fascinating paradox when you think about it.
It is, because we get dressed every single day of our lives. It's one of the most universal human things we do.
Right. We use clothes to signal who we are, our status, our mood, our job.
And yet describing that process in English often leads to this sudden, just catastrophic vocabulary loss.
Yeah, you go from being a complex person with taste and style to, like, a robot listing inventory. I have blue shirt.
It's incredibly frustrating.
You feel like a toddler.
And it's frustrating because our clothes are so tied to our identity. When you can't describe them, you feel like you can't describe yourself.
You lose your personality in the translation. You just become generic.
Well, that's what we're here to fix.
That ends today. We are going on a deep dive into mastering English expressions for clothing and style.
And let's be super clear from the start. This is not just a vocabulary list.
No, we are not just going to sit here and tell you that the thing on your foot is called a shoe.
If you're listening to this, you're way past that level. We're looking at something much, much deeper.
We're looking at the psychology of it, the hidden grammar of getting dressed.
And we're basing this discussion on a really insightful dialogue we found between a learner, Emma, and a teacher, Liam. We're going to pull their conversation apart to find the rules that native speakers use without even thinking.
Right. The goal is to move you from that robotic naming of items.
To speaking with the actual flow of a native speaker. We want you to feel as comfortable talking about your clothes as you do wearing them.
And that all starts with a concept that seems so simple, but man, it trips up almost everyone.
It really does. It's the battle between the now and the habit.
Let's get into it.
Yes. Let's jump right into section 1. The source material calls this the core confusion. It's all about the difference between I'm wearing and I wear. This, and I'm not exaggerating, the #1 giveaway that someone is still struggling with the nuances of English grammar for this topic.
Absolutely. In the source text, Emma, the learner, she admits that when someone asks her, what are you wearing? Her first instinct is to say,
I wear a blue t-shirt now.
I wear a blue t-shirt now. I feel like I hear that exact phrase a lot. And you know what? If someone said that to me, I would understand them.
Sure.
I wouldn't stop the conversation and correct their grammar. Communication still happens.
It does. But what's actually wrong with it? Why does it sound so off to a native ear?
Right, what's the problem?
The problem is that the signal it sends is wrong. In English, we have a very, very strict division here when it comes to time. I'm wearing, that's the present continuous, is what we can call the right now rule.
The right now rule, I like that.
It is exclusively for this specific moment in time.
It's a snapshot.
Exactly. It is a photograph of you at this precise second. But I wear, the simple present that indicates a habit, a general truth, a style preference.
That's the usually rule.
The usually rule. Perfect.
Okay, so let's really unpack the example from the source to see why this matters so much. Emma correctly says, I'm wearing a blue t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers.
Right. That's her current state. The snapshot.
But if she says her first instinct, I wear a blue t-shirt now, what does that actually sound like to you? What's the image that pops into your head?
Okay, so if you say, I wear a blue t-shirt,
Okay.
it sounds like a declaration of your permanent existence.
Wow, okay.
It implies that you always wear a blue t-shirt, like you're a cartoon character who never, ever changes their outfit.
That is such a funny and perfect image. It's like, hello, my name is Homer Simpson. I wear a white shirt and blue pants. This is my entire identity.
Precisely. It implies a biography, not a snapshot.
Yeah.
Think of Steve Jobs.
Oh, good one.
You could absolutely say Steve Jobs wore a black turtleneck.
Mm-hmm.
That implies it was his uniform. It was his brand.
It was a constant truth about his life. It wasn't just a random Tuesday decision. It was a whole lifestyle choice.
Exactly. So if you say, I wear suits, you're telling me about your job or your general style. You're saying, in my life, as a general rule, suits are a regular thing.
But if you say, I am wearing a suit, you are only telling me about today.
Just today, maybe you're going to a wedding. Maybe you have a job interview.
It doesn't mean you wear them every day. In fact, you might hate suits and you're going to rip it off the second you get home.
You might. So the tense completely changes the meaning. It's not just about being grammatically correct, it's about conveying the right reality.
I get it now. If I say I wear glasses, it means my vision is bad. It's a permanent state.
Right.
But if I say I'm wearing glasses, I might just mean sunglasses because it's bright outside.
That is a perfect example. That's it exactly.
So the takeaway here, and the source makes this super clear, is you need to visualize the timeline before you speak.
Yes. Ask yourself, are you describing the image in the mirror right now?
Then it's I'm wearing.
Or are you describing your closet and your general lifestyle?
Then it's I wear.
I love that visualization. Mirror versus closet.
It's a great way to lock it in.
If you're looking at your reflection in the mirror, use the continuous. If you're describing your whole wardrobe in the closet, use the simple present.
And it's a quick mental check you can do in that split second before you answer the question. It stops you from accidentally declaring that you wear a wedding dress every day just because you happen to be wearing one today.
Which, yeah, would be a very confusing thing to tell a stranger you just met.
Okay, so we've got the grammar of time sorted out. We know when we're wearing things. But what about the kind of clothes we're wearing?
Ah, this is where it gets fun.
This brings us to section 2, decoding style words and social context.
And this is where we kind of move from pure grammar to, like, sociology. Because clothes are social signals, right?
Absolutely. The source breaks it down into 3 main style buckets that cover, I'd say, about 90% of daily life.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And these words seem simple on the surface. I think most people know them. But the boundaries can get really blurry.
For sure. So the 3 buckets are casual, formal, and sporty.
Let's define them the way the source does. First up, casual.
The big one.
This is relaxed, everyday stuff. Jeans, hoodies, t-shirts. This is what you wear when there's no pressure.
But casual is a huge category, isn't it? I mean, my pajamas are casual, but I probably shouldn't wear them to the grocery store.
Well, some people do.
True, but that's exactly the problem. Casual is a whole spectrum. You've got business casual, which is like chinos and a nice shirt.
Then you have lounge casual, which is sweatpants.
Right. But generally for learners, casual just means not professional, not fancy. It's what you wear to grab coffee or hang out with friends.
Okay, then we have the opposite end. Formal.
This one's easier, I think.
A little easier. Special events, very professional settings. Suits, evening gowns, maybe a tuxedo if it's really high-end.
This is serious clothing. It communicates respect or authority or celebration. You don't wear formal to watch a movie on the couch.
Unless you're James Bond, maybe.
Unless you're James Bond. And the third one is sporty.
Activewear. So sneakers, leggings, tracksuits. But what's interesting, and the source points this out, is that sporty has become a style all on its own, even if you're not doing any sports.
Oh, totally. The athleisure trend.
Exactly. You see people in, like, really expensive yoga pants who have zero intention of going to a gym today.
It's about projecting an image of health and being active and dynamic. It's a look.
Right. Sporty is now a fashion statement about comfort and health, not just, utility.
But this is where it gets really juicy. The words themselves are easy. Casual, formal, sporty. Using them in real life, it's a minefield. The source tells this amazing story about Emma going to a birthday party, and I think every single person listening has had a moment just like this.
Oh, such a painful story. I think we've all been Emma at some point.
Okay, so set the scene.
So Emma gets invited to a birthday party. She wants to fit in, which is a universal human desire. Nobody wants to be the odd one out.
Of course not. So she asks her friend the smart question, what are you wearing?
Good question. Standard due diligence. You want to match the vibe.
Exactly.
And her friend replies, oh, nothing fancy, just casual.
Just casual. Those 2 words are a trap. That is a red alert.
They are a massive trap because casual is so subjective. To the friend, who maybe loves fashion. Casual could mean her nicest designer jeans, heels, and a silk blouse.
Right. But to Emma, who takes the word at face value, casual means
Basic. Comfortable.
So Emma hears casual, and she puts on a pair of jeans, just, basic blue jeans and a t-shirt.
And she shows up to the party, and everyone else is in cocktail dresses and blazers.
Oh, the horror. I can literally feel that shame in my stomach right now. You walk in, you scan the room, and in 3 seconds you realize you have fundamentally misunderstood the assignment.
You just want to melt into the floor. You feel like every single person is looking at you.
It's the absolute worst feeling. You feel disrespectful, even though you were trying to follow the instructions.
The source calls this English meets real-life problems. The vocabulary word casual was technically correct, but the social interpretation was worlds apart.
So how do we avoid this disaster? Because asking, what are you wearing, clearly didn't work.
The source actually gives us a solution phrase, a secret weapon to fight this social awkwardness.
I love a secret weapon. What is it?
Yes. So the expert in the text, Liam, he suggests that when you ask about a dress code, you can't just accept casual. You have to ask specifically, is it casual or dressy?
Dressy. That is the magic word.
That's the key. Dressy is a fantastic counter word to casual. It doesn't mean formal, like a tuxedo.
No.
It sits in that wonderful middle ground. It means, are we making an effort here?
All right. Should I do my hair?
Exactly. It implies a nice shirt, maybe a dress, nicer shoes. By putting dressy into the question, you force the other person to be way more specific.
That is a life hack. So instead of just what's the vibe, you ask, is it casual or dressy?
Yes. And if you ask that, the friend might say, oh, well, it's casual, but like dressy casual. You should probably wear cute shoes.
And boom, you're saved.
You're saved. You know not to wear the old sneakers.
Yeah.
It forces them to define their position on the scale.
That is brilliant. Okay, so we know the timeline, mirror versus closet. We know the social vibe, casual versus dressy. Now we have to actually describe the items. And this is where most learners get stuck at blue shirt. We need to move beyond just the basic nouns.
We do. This brings us to section 3, the art of description. And the source gives us a really specific formula for this.
I love a good formula. It makes the chaos of language feel organized.
It does. And this is interesting because native speakers, we use this formula instinctively. We don't learn it in school. We just sort of absorb it. But for a learner, seeing the map is essential.
Okay, so what is it?
It's the 3-part formula: color plus material plus fit.
Color, material, fit.
Now, sometimes you can switch the order a little depending on what you want to emphasize. But let's look at the example they dissect. A black cotton t-shirt.
Okay. Color is black. Material is cotton. And the item is a t-shirt. It sounds so natural.
Right. There's actually a deeper linguistic rule here called the order of adjectives. In English, you would never say a cotton black t-shirt.
A cotton black t-shirt? No. That sounds, it feels wrong in my mouth. It hurts my ears.
It sounds so clunky. It sounds like a translation error. The rule is color almost always comes before material. Black cotton, blue denim, red silk.
Got it. So we have color and material, but the real magic, according to the source, is that third element, fit.
Yes. Fit is where the personality is. Fit tells us how the clothes relate to your body, and the source lists 4 specific adjectives for fit that learners often forget, but if you use them, you instantly sound more fluent.
Okay, let's run through them. First one, tight.
Tight means very close to the body. It's hugging your skin. There's tension in the fabric. Think skinny jeans or a wetsuit.
Right. Then the opposite is loose.
Loose is relaxed. There's air between you and the fabric. It's not sticking to you. It moves when you move. It's comfortable.
Okay, now here's a distinction that I think is really important. The next word is oversized.
Ah, yes. This is a huge one in modern fashion. Oversized is a fashion term. It means it is intentionally very loose.
It's a choice.
It is a style choice. This is very different from just wearing a shirt that's too big for you because you bought the wrong size.
That's a key difference. Saying, this shirt is too big sounds like a complaint, a mistake.
Right.
But saying, this shirt is oversized sounds like you're fashionable and you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish wears oversized clothes.
Yeah.
A little kid wearing his dad's suit is wearing clothes that are too big.
Perfect distinction. And the last one is slim fit.
This is super common now, especially in men's suits or modern shirts. It's a little bit tight, but in a tailored, fashionable way.
So it's not tight like it's uncomfortable.
No, it's slim fit, like it's structured. It follows the lines of your body without squeezing you.
Okay, so let's put it all together. Instead of just saying, I am wearing a shirt, you could say,
You could say, I'm wearing a black cotton t-shirt. It's oversized and really comfortable.
see how much richer that image is?
Instantly.
You went from a stick figure in a drawing to a real person with a whole vibe. You can almost feel the texture and see the silhouette.
Like you can picture it perfectly.
Now, you just said comfortable. The source actually makes a big point about pronunciation here, because spelling in English is, well, it's basically a lie.
It's a lie. It's a suggestion at best. And there are some specific pronunciation pitfalls mentioned that really trip people up. Comfortable is the classic example.
It looks like it should be 4 distinct syllables. Comfortable.
But if you say comfortable, you sound very rigid. A little bit like a GPS navigation voice.
Right. Turn left in 200 feet.
Exactly. Native speakers, we just swallow the syllables. We mash it all together. We say comfortable.
Comfortable. It's almost like it tumbles out.
Yeah, 3 syllables barely. Comfortable. The or sound almost completely disappears.
Okay, what's another one? Oh, the word clothes itself, the title of our whole topic.
Oh, this one is a nightmare. It's got the sound followed immediately by a Z sound.
Yeah.
It requires some serious gymnastics from your tongue. Clothes.
It feels like you're going to spit on someone.
It's tricky. The source advises a soft though, but honestly, the expert in the text makes a great point. Clarity beats perfection here.
So just get close.
Just get close. Don't say claws, and definitely don't say cloths, which we are about to get to. Just try for that soft uhs at the end.
Okay. And the last pronunciation trap they mention is casual.
Casual. It has that Z sound like in the words pleasure or vision.
Not casual.
No, casual.
Casual. It sounds smoother. It sounds more casual.
It does. It relaxes the mouth.
Okay, we are flowing now. We have the grammar, the style words, the formula, the pronunciation. But we have to talk about the traps.
We do.
Section 4 of our deep dive is called the trap words. These are the mistakes that even advanced learners make, and they are usually because of direct translations from their native language.
These are the fixes that, if you can master them, make you sound instantly more fluent. If you can eliminate these 3 errors, your perceived fluency will just skyrocket.
Okay, what's trap number 1?
The battle between cloth and clothes.
Oh, I hear this one all the time. I'm going to buy new cloth.
Right. And to a native speaker, if you say, I bought new cloth, my brain goes to a very specific place. I assume you're going home to sew something.
Like you went to a fabric store.
Yes, I picture you at a textile shop buying a bolt of fabric to make, I don't know, curtains or a tablecloth.
Right.
Cloth is the raw material, the unformed fabric. Clothes are the finished garments you wear.
So you would never say, I need to put on my cloth.
Never. Unless you are literally draping a raw sheet of fabric over yourself, like a ghost for Halloween or maybe a Greek statue.
Got it. So, clothes for wearing, cloth for sewing. Simple enough. What's trap number 2?
Trap number 2 is the plural paradox. This is the pants problem.
This one is just a logic problem, isn't it? In so many other languages, a pair of trousers is a singular object. One thing.
It is one object, but in English, for whatever reason, if an item of clothing has 2 legs, it is grammatically plural. Pants, jeans, shorts, trousers.
Even though it is one thing that you hold up in one hand.
Yes. Grammatically, it is they, not it.
So you absolutely cannot say, this pant is nice.
No, that sounds so weird. It sounds like you were holding up one single pant leg. Like, this left pant is nice, but the right pant is ugly.
You have to say, these pants are nice.
Always. These pants are nice. These jeans are tight, not this jean is tight.
It's one of those things that sounds so strange to a native here, it immediately marks you as a non-native speaker.
It does. It's like saying this scissors or this glasses. If it has 2 parts that work together, it's plural.
Okay, that's a great rule of thumb. What's trap number 3? I think this one is the most subtle, but maybe the most important for sounding natural.
I agree.
Yeah.
It connects right back to our first section.
Yeah.
It's action versus state. The difference between put on and wear.
Right.
This is all about the physics of dressing. Put on is the action. It's the verb. It's the video clip of you pulling a jacket over your arms.
It's a process with a start and an end?
Yes. Wear is the state. It's the result. It's the photo after the video is done.
Okay, so give us the scenario.
Okay, scenario. It gets cold in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You pick up your jacket from the chair. You are now putting on your jacket. That process takes, 10 seconds?
Right.
5 minutes later, you are sitting there with the jacket on you. You are wearing your jacket.
And the mistake learners make is they swap them. They'll say, I wear my jacket, when they actually mean they are in the process of putting it on.
Exactly. Imagine you're at a friend's house and you're leaving. You shout to your friend, wait a second, I wear my shoes.
That sounds like you're making a philosophical statement. As a human, I generally use shoes in my life.
It sounds so odd. You just say, wait, I'm putting on my shoes. It's a dynamic action. Wear is static. Put on is active.
So put on is the verb of change, and wear is the verb of status.
That is a perfect way to put it. Yes.
That's a huge distinction. Okay, let's take all of this, the grammar, the vocab, the traps, and bring it out into the wild.
Let's do it.
Section 5. Real-world application. We have two scenarios from the source. Scenario A is the store.
Shopping can be terrifying in a second language.
Yeah.
You feel vulnerable, you're half naked in a tiny fitting room, the lighting is usually awful.
It's a stressful situation.
It is. You need the right words just to survive the interaction.
Okay, so let's equip the listener. What are the key survival phrases for clothes shopping?
First, you grab something you like, but it's the wrong size. You don't need a long, complex sentence. Just walk up to a salesperson and say, do you have this in a different size?
Simple, essential.
Or do you have this in a medium?
And before you commit to buying it.
You need to ask, can I try this on? And remember, it's the phrasal verb try on, not just try.
That's a good point. If you say, can I try this, it sounds like you want to, I don't know, eat it or test drive it.
Right. Try on is specifically for clothing.
Okay, so you're in the fitting room and it's a disaster. It doesn't fit. What do you say?
You just need to be honest and simple. It's too tight or it's too loose.
And what about our lesson on oversized?
Right? If it looks like a tent, but you actually like that style, you can say, it's a bit oversized, but I like it. If it just looks bad and baggy, it's just too loose.
And if the salesperson asks what you're looking for when you first walk in and you remember our earlier lesson,
You can say, I'm looking for something casual, or I'm looking for something a bit more dressy. See how it all connects?
it all comes back around.
You're using that specific vocabulary to filter the entire store's inventory and save yourself time.
That's so practical. Okay, scenario B. This is my favorite one. The compliment.
This is so socially valuable. Complimenting someone's outfit is probably the easiest, safest way to start a conversation or build rapport with an English speaker.
It really is. We love hearing that we look good. But I think people get scared. They don't want to say the wrong thing or sound creepy.
And the key is to keep it about the clothes or the style, not the person's body.
Right.
The source suggests simple, safe phrases like, I like your jacket.
Safe, effective, can't go wrong.
Or you could say, that color looks great on you.
Ooh, that's a high-level compliment. That feels more personal. It shows you're paying attention to them, not just the object.
It really is. Or even simpler, your outfit is really nice.
It builds confidence for both people, right? The person wearing the clothes feels good, and you, the speaker, feel good for making that connection.
It turns a language interaction into a human interaction.
And I think that leads us perfectly into the ultimate message of the source material.
Yeah, it does. This brings us to our outro. The source ends with this really important mantra, which is confidence, not perfection.
I think that is so important to remember. We've thrown a lot of rules at you today.
A lot.
Put on versus wear, cloth versus clothes, the proper order of adjectives. It can feel really overwhelming.
It's so easy to get obsessed with the little errors. Oh no, did I just say cloth or clothes? Did I say put on or wear? But the goal is just communication.
Small mistakes are normal. Native speakers make mistakes all the time, or we speak in fragments and half sentences.
The most important thing is that you're trying. You're trying to paint a picture of who you are through your words.
And if you get the grammar slightly wrong, but you smile and you say, I like your jacket, you have succeeded.
100%. You've connected.
So here's the challenge for you listening right now. Just for a second, look down, look at what you're wearing, and mentally describe your own outfit using that formula we talked about. Color plus material plus fit.
What is it? Is it a blue denim jacket? Is it loose fit? Is it a tight black cotton shirt? Are you wearing it or did you just put it on?
Construct that sentence in your head. Do it right now.
And once you have that image and that sentence, I want you to realize that you have the tools. You have everything you need to explain your style to anyone.
But hey, style is just one part of the whole equation, isn't it? You're dressed, you look great, you can talk about it, but now you need to move.
Oh, good point.
You need to walk, you need to run, maybe you strut, maybe you dance. If you want to master the verbs of movement to go along with those cool new sneakers,
To describe how you move through the world.
then you absolutely need to click on the next video in our channel immediately.
Because the vocabulary of movement is where the style really comes to life. You don't want to look great, but then describe your own walk like a robot.
Absolutely not. Go check it out. Thanks for diving in with us today.